What's going on, everybody? We got 2 hours of fantasy football talk for you right here on Twitch. Adam Aizer and Frank Stampfl. Frank, you ready to talk about the weather?
I am ready to put my meteorologist hat on. I'm literally wearing a hat here for maybe the first time on Twitch. So
No way. Really?
let's predict weather.
I feel like you're always wearing a hat.
That's because you see me in a bunch of meetings and stuff where I'm like, I don't want you to see my hair. Usually I get all jazzed up for these Twitch streams. I just don't have time today, man.
Okay. All right. So what are the games we're looking at in terms of weather?
Yeah, so there are 3 games currently that are projected to have between 20 and 25 mile per hour winds this week, and they are the Vikings at Packers, the Raiders at Browns, and the Saints at the Bears.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Me neither.
I guess it doesn't really matter too much for the Saints-Bears games because if Allen Robinson doesn't play and Michael Thomas doesn't play, Emmanuel Sanders isn't going to play, I don't think people are too jazzed about those wide receivers. But, yeah, I'm not sitting Devontae Adams, but, I mean, I don't know. I don't like it, Frank. Like, I have Nelson Aguilar going in a bunch of spots, and he's a deep play guy, and with their 25-mile-per-hour wind, that's a big deal. I'm actually going to talk to Kevin Roth, who's kind of a weather, he's a meteorologist, I'll call him that, weather expert meteorologist, and does a lot of fantasy, college football, NFL stuff. So I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to air that interview on the podcast tomorrow. But do you have like a weather rule of thumb?
So usually, 15 miles per hour around there, like the Bengals game, the Titans at Bengals, there's some wind there too, 15 miles per hour. Usually that's like, okay, you start to get a little bit concerned. 20, you're like, all right, this is kind of bad. 25, anything more than 25 miles per hour is usually pretty bad for passing attacks, and especially for kickers too. So I don't know how much people care about kickers, but if you have like Mason Crosby, that does not sound good.
It's a good point. So, okay, I haven't really given you a formal welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is Thursday. Panthers and Falcons tonight. Christian McCaffrey is not going to be activated. So another day for Mike Davis to be in your starting lineup. We're going to read your questions. We're here until 6 p.m. Eastern. Chris Towers is going to join us in a little bit. That'll be the first hour. It'll be me, Chris, and Frank. But yeah, if you're watching on Twitch Sports and you want to ask us a question, come on over to the FF Today channel and ask us a question there. So let me read some emails. Is Aaron Jones going to play? Right now, it's looking like a no. So that would be a good thing for Jamal Williams. He would be a must-start guy. Hotspur wants to know, pick 3 in full PPR. Ronald Jones, Giovanni Bernard, Cole Beasley, Jamison Crowder, or Greg Ward. Ronald Jones, Gio, Beasley, Crowder, and Ward. This is full PPR, and Joe Mixon did not practice today.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Joe Mixon and Aaron Jones are both probably not going to play again this week. So I would go with Gio Bernard. I would go with John Brown is back for the Bills, so that will affect the target share for Beasley, but it's still a pretty good matchup against the New England Patriots. So I'll go with Beasley and
Crowder or Ward.
If Crowder plays, I'll go with Crowder, but he was limited again on Thursday, so it seems like he's trending in the right direction.
I want to talk about the Bucks backfield real quick here. They're facing the Giants on Monday night. You might, great matchup. Throw him in there. It's going to be awesome. Well, yeah, for Fournette, probably. I like Fournette better than Jones this week. There's always a possibility Jones gets 20 carries, Fournette gets 5. The Arians could do that. But what we've seen in 3 games, take away week 1, Fournette had just signed about a week earlier, barely got any work against the Saints. The other 3 games that Fournette has played, he has 4 more touches than Ronald Jones in those 3 games. He is going to catch more passes than Ronald Jones. The Giants' run defense is like one of the only good things about them. They have now gone 5 straight games without giving up a 15-yard carry to a running back, but they give up the 4th most receiving yards per game to running backs. So I know the rankings for Dave, Jamey, and Heath very similar with those 2 guys. I think generally speaking, I think they have Jones a few spots ahead in non-PPR, Fournette in full PPR. But the bottom line is I don't want to start Ronald Jones this week. I think there's a chance he scores a touchdown, but he's going to need it. And I'm more interested in Leonard Fournette. I think the opportunity is there for him. This is from Skittles. And yeah, I'm getting excited. Skittles are like somehow underrated. They're amazing.
They are.
They're not like a house. They're not like a Halloween household candy, I think, but they should be.
Yeah, I could agree with that take. And you would think that they might be a little overrated because of the whole Marshawn Lynch boom with the Skittles and stuff, but they are a pretty solid candy. I would say like they're in the same tier as Starburst, right? Starburst are pretty good too.
I think they're better than Starburst because every Skittles is good. Starburst, you're throwing out half the bag.
Is that true? What are you throwing out?
Lemon and orange.
Oh, dude.
Disgusting.
I love anything that's orange, so
Okay, well,
anything orange related is great.
well, you're a Knicks and Mets fan, so I think it's already steered you wrong. Here's a question though from Skittles: start one, drop one. And you're a Yankees fan. What the hell am I talking about? You're a Jets fan.
Figure it out. I'm like, what's Met fan?
Okay, my bad. Start one, drop one in PPR. Devin Singletary, LaMichael Pirine, Justin Jackson, Malcolm Brown, and Tevin Coleman. Coleman did practice today. Devin Singletary, LaMichael Pirine, Justin Jackson, Malcolm Brown, Tevin Coleman. Start one, drop one.
And what format did they say?
PPR.
I would go with LaMichael Pirine in PPR, and I don't know if that's crazy, but played like 70% of the snaps, and seems like he is taking over the backfield, and it is a meh matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs, but I literally have him and Singletary back-to-back in my ranks, but I will go with Pirine in PPR, and I will drop... Say that again? Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, no problem. Drop Singletary, Pirine, Justin Jackson, Malcolm Brown, Tevin Coleman.
I will drop... it's between Coleman and Jackson. I guess
you can't drop Coleman.
Yeah,
what if he's the starter this week?
Oh. Yeah. I guess
I would drop Pirine.
Really?
I think so. I mean, I just think that's the worst situation in the NFL, basically. But I'd drop Malcolm Brown. I don't know. These other guys are very similar. All right, pick who you want, Skittles. What's up, Chris Towers? Chris, microphone. Hey, Chris Towers.
What's up, everybody?
Fancy cardigan on again. Look at this, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is Cardi weather, you know.
One of the great Dumb and Dumber lines is when he goes, pull over. Goes, oh, it's a cardigan, but thank you for noticing. Great line. All right, let's read some questions from Nashwave. Am I crazy for starting Fulgham over Kenny Gallaudet? Fulgham against the Cowboys, Gallaudet against the Colts. Would you do that?
Who else are you starting?
Just answer the question.
I mean,
it's not crazy.
It probably isn't crazy, but you shouldn't do it. You probably have someone else you can bench. And if not, I don't know, man. I don't think I can go away from Gallaudet, but it's that's a tough one.
Now, they are very similarly ranked this week, but I would still go Gallaudet. I don't think it's crazy, but
yeah, right. Yeah, I think we're on the same page there. From Fitty Pitties, Joe Burrow, Jimmy Garoppolo, or Teddy Bridgewater?
Burrow, baby.
Yeah. I might go Bridgewater there.
Okay.
Don't get too cute. Come on, Chris.
What's cute about that?
That's being cute. Teddy Bridgewater has, I think, he had 313 yards and 2 touchdowns last time he played the Falcons.
Burrow was very good against them. But
Burrow has been a decent fantasy quarterback, but I don't think has he scored more points than Bridgewater this season?
I don't think so.
I think he's upside higher.
He just had 39 points against Cleveland, so maybe.
Yeah.
But
he probably, he has more upside.
Yeah, Tennessee 23rd against quarterbacks, but that's one of those windy games, right?
15 miles per hour.
Concern about wind.
All right, I think Bridgewater. The only thing cute about that is Chris's cardigan. Am I right, folks?
I mean, the cat's right there. Come on.
Oh, the cat. Yeah, the cat. Well, that's good. The cat is very cute and not walking on your keyboard, which is always good. From Impeding Warrior, who wins this trade? 2 QB league. Side A gets Zeke, Lamar Jackson, and Chris Godwin.
I mean, probably side A.
Zeke, Lamar Jackson, Chris Godwin. Side B gets Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, and Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, side A.
Side A.
Yeah.
You get the better running back, you get the better quarterback. And, I love Gibson. I think he's going to be really good the second half of the season, but I think that's worth the downgrade from Gibson to Godwin.
I think it's a pretty close trade, though. I don't think it's a slight upgrade, but I don't think it's a massive upgrade.
Sure, yeah.
Ridley or Metcalf from the Jazzy McCall?
Again, How are these the choices that you're making?
I'm not getting away from DK.
Ridley.
I'm going Ridley.
Like, you take the guy who has 14 target upside over the guy who like routinely gets 6.
Yeah, but you
As
see the
good as he
targets.
is.
You see the targets for Ridley these last 2 games. What's up with that? He's got like 7 and 7. Not a fan. No, but I'm going Ridley. But dear God, yeah, please find someone else to bench. From C White 22, should I trade Kareem Hunt for James Robinson in PPR?
That, I would want to wait till after this week. I think Kareem Hunt is just an absolute smash spot this week, but long-term concerns, I think it probably makes sense to do that.
Yeah, they both have their bye week still. Robinson obviously is on bye this week, and Hunt will definitely outscore him this week.
Probably.
But then Hunt has his bye, and Nick Chubb will be back. So if you're not dooming yourself to an automatic loss this week, or if you can avoid or can afford one, then I think that's probably worth it.
All right, J Coop 4321 PPR league. Should I start Jerry Jeudy, Hayden Hurst, Richard Rodgers? I need one.
I would go Rodgers.
Yeah, I like that call. Although I don't hate Hayden Hurst. I think he is a low-end tight end 1 this week. But yeah, I will take Rodgers ahead of him.
I mean, he seems like a great guy. I don't know why you would hate him.
No, yeah.
I don't hate the matchup.
The only issue is, like, if you're down between Hurst and Rodgers, is Goddard might play.
Might, but I don't expect him to.
Yeah, I don't either. But then you'd be stuck with Calvin Ridley, I was reading the old question, with Jerry Jeudy, which we don't want.
Being stuck with Calvin Ridley would be pretty awesome.
That would be okay.
Right,
G Kozak 50, pick 1 to start and 1 to flex. So basically pick 2 to start. Hasty, Henderson, Jackson, Geo, PPR. Hasty, Henderson, Jackson, Geo.
Geo if Mixon is out, which I believe.
Seems like he will be. He hasn't practiced this week.
Yeah. Geo and then Henderson. I like the matchup for Henderson a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was disappointing to see Malcolm Brown get a touchdown last week, but it wasn't really a goal line. It was like was it? It was like a 5-yard carry?
No, Malcolm Brown, no. He had that carry from like the 8-yard line where they pushed him almost into the end zone.
Yeah.
And then on the next play, he scored.
Yeah, so I think Henderson's probably the play there. Although Hasty, the problem there is not that I don't think Hasty can be a good fantasy option. It's the uncertainty. I just have no idea how much McKinnon's going to play, really.
And Coleman practiced today. So, yeah, I mean, we're looking at that game right now, San Francisco, Seattle. Do we think that we're going to have any reliable running back in that game? I don't even know what the deal is with the Seattle running backs right now.
It's kind of up in the air right now. And the Seahawks run defense actually has been pretty good. I don't know if that's a product of just everyone passing on them and they're just not really running, but their run defense has been pretty good. So I like what I've seen from Hasty to this point, but pay attention to see what's happening with Tevin Coleman. Don't really know what's going to happen with Jerick McKinnon, and it's a tough matchup on top of all that.
Yeah, only 2 running backs had more than 14 carries against Seattle, and both of them were on the Vikings. So that is part of it, but also they both did
really well.
Yeah, Cook had 17 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown. So he scored, but they actually did a pretty good job.
Yeah, but it was like 5 catches for 34 yards also, I think.
5 for 24, yeah. But you don't expect that from Hasty. You don't expect catches from him.
I mean, maybe not.
Not if McKinnon's playing. I wouldn't expect that. But then again, you look at in 6 of 7 games for the Niners, a running back has scored a touchdown. So it's you can't look at this game and be like, oh, Seattle running back, San Francisco running back, not interested. But it's just such a mess right now, and it's hard to know who to recommend at this point. So maybe we just won't recommend anybody right now. Like this one from Dom Negro, non-PPR, Hyde or Scott?
Scott.
Oh, it's definitely Scott. Yeah.
As long as Miles Sanders is out.
Right. But if Hyde is healthy, would it definitely be Scott? Because remember, the Cowboys are great against pass catching running backs for some reason.
It's always tough to know what to do with like something like the Cowboys are great against pass catching.
You said that last week, and they were great again against McKissick.
Sure. But were they?
Yes.
Or did Washington not throw the ball at all?
I mean,
because I think it was just 3 targets to their running backs and only like 22 pass attempts total.
Maybe, but either whatever the reason is, people are not throwing at the running backs much.
Yeah, Scott in that offense is not just a typical running back in terms of the passing game. They will use him down the field, as we saw in that game-winning touchdown. So I would still go Scott. And I also just kind of think Carlos Hyde's a bit of a slug.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think he's going to play. So let's just say Boston Scott is the answer. Again, if you're watching on Twitch Sports, coming over to FF Today, our channel here for Fantasy Football Today, we will answer your questions. Your Gaming said, I just picked up Nelson Aguilar and I dropped Rashard Higgins. What do you think about that, guys?
Don't love it.
Yeah.
They're the same to me. It's like, I didn't know. When I did my waiver claims this week, those two guys, Aguilar, Higgins, Greg Ward, Scott Miller, I put like the same amount on all of them. I did not really have a strong preference. We'll see how it goes. But Aguilar looks pretty good. You know.
He has, but I would expect that the further we get away from Henry Ruggs' injuries, that he is probably going to see more of the targets moving forward. I know Aguilar has played well, so I don't want to knock him, but I think Rashard Higgins will probably be more consistent for the Browns.
All right, Marksman on the go. Start Gaskin or Fournette?
I would still go with Gaskin. I don't know what his target share is going to look like with Tua as the quarterback, but it's not a terrible matchup against the Rams. They have been better recently against running backs, but he is just getting so much of their work, Myles Gaskin, and especially in the red zone too, which, with Jordan Howard being inactive the past 2 games, he's seen a lot of work there. So it's Gaskin for me.
I would expect the Dolphins offense doesn't look that different. Like, it's not like Tua's going to be, running the ball all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually ran the ball less often moving forward than Ryan Fitzpatrick did. Just because Fitzpatrick actually scrambles a decent amount. But I wouldn't actually expect that to change, especially for Gaskins. It's possible like maybe Preston Williams gets a larger role, or maybe Tua looks for Mike Gesicki more. But the running back situation, I think, would stay relatively constant.
All right, this is from Julio. Full PPR, pick one. T. Higgins, Giovanni Bernard, Gaskin, or Hollywood Brown? Higgins, Gio, Gaskin, Hollywood.
If Mixon is out, I'll go Gio.
Yeah.
And if not?
Then I will...
Gaskin.
It was Gaskin, Higgins...
And Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, I would go Gaskin.
Okay. Good options there, by the way.
Yep.
From C. Miller, 1977, I need help at flex and full PPR. I've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Kareem Hunt at running back, A.J. Brown and Keenan Allen at wide receiver. All right. Listen to these options. Choose one. Okay, I'm going to eliminate T. Higgins from this list. Choose one.
Wow.
Zeke, Gallaudet, Evans.
Zeke.
Yes.
Okay. Let me tell you something about Mike Evans, guys. He's facing the Giants. He's had 100 yards twice without Chris Godwin. All good, right? James Bradbury kind of owns Mike Evans. Let me get the last 4 times he faced Carolina when Bradbury was lined up across from him. I don't know how much, I don't know the percentage, but 1 catch for 16 yards on 10 targets, 4 catches for 48 yards on 6 targets, 4 catches for 61 yards on 8 targets, and then 9 catches for 96 yards on 17 targets. I kind of had forgotten about that because as soon as they said Godwin was out, I was like, oh, Mike Evans. Boom. But Bradbury was actually shadowing Deshaun Jackson last week. I think he's going to shadow Mike Evans. And I think that could be a little bit of an issue. Are you guys buying it?
If you don't have Ezekiel Elliott, you're almost certainly starting Mike Evans. Like, if that's not your alternative, like, there are so many injuries right now, and there are so many good players on bye this week, especially a wide receiver, that I don't think you can go away from Mike Evans. It's really hard to conceive of an outcome where you're not starting him.
Yeah, he's top 14 for Dave, Jamey, and Heath, so I know everybody's starting him. But just wanted to scare everyone, I guess. It's Halloween.
Ooh, spooky.
Yeah. Chris, you want to...
Foodberry.
You can
Bradbury.
James Brown. Nice.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. What else do we got? Okay, we're gonna keep coming up with fun Halloween team names. Hard to do on the spot. From Shane Tuck, should I trade Hasty for Geo? I have Mixon.
Yes.
Yeah, probably. I think it's 6 one, half dozen the other.
Okay, from Devil's Rock. Ooh, Devil. Halloween, yeah.
Ooh.
Not a lot of devil movies though with Halloween, right? By the way, I don't know. You guys into horror movies? Like,
Not really.
No? I don't mind them. I'll
Real life is scary enough, Adam.
Feels like every year, month of October, I enjoy just in the background putting on some mindless horror movie. Halloween 5, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, whatever. They're just not airing that. It's weird. It's like Hocus Pocus is on all the time. And Halloween H2O is on every minute. I've seen that movie 6 times this week. I've been very disappointed, but last night they finally aired Nightmare on Elm Street. It's the first time I've seen it this year. That movie's pretty good. That is a good horror movie. I only got to halfway through. I'm looking forward to watching the rest.
Adam.
Yes?
Kenny Gallaudet.
That is good, but I need more Halloween movies, specifically the Halloween franchise, although they have basically decided not to air Halloween 3, which is a good move. All right, Devil's Rock says start 3. P. Ryan, Hasty, AJ Green, T.Y. Hilton. Michael Thomas practiced today. That's big. P. Ryan, Hasty, AJ Green, T.Y. Hilton, Josh Kelly. Gee, are you kidding me? Josh Kelly, J.K. Dobbins, Rashard Higgins, DJ Dallas. That's a lot of names.
Okay, the first 2 running backs stood out to me. I think they were P. Ryan and Hasty. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And
AJ Green, I think you got to start.
I think
like
you're
the
probably
matchup
going to start
for
AJ Green
too.
Rashard Higgins seems like a pretty good start to me as well.
I would rather have Hasty or
P. Ryan,
I think.
Oh, Dobbins was one that stood out too. Like
Dobbins is there.
I think that if Mark Ingram is out, I would go Hasty, Dobbins, and AJ Green.
I have no idea what to expect from J.K. Dobbins.
I think if Ingram is out, he's probably safe for 10 touches at least.
Yeah, I think him and Edwards are both like RB3s.
Yeah.
And it seems like Ingram is going to be out. He didn't practice again today.
Do you guys remember what Gus Edwards did in 2018?
He was awesome down the stretch.
Oh, was he good? He was on pace for
On pace for like 1,300 yards. I definitely
more than that. Yeah.
He
was 1,495 yards and 5 touchdowns, 5.4 yards per carry in the last, I think, 7 games of the season. But they won't give him all that work. All right, let's see. From Mr. Amers, should I trade Robert Woods for David Montgomery? And who do I start? Damian Harris or Le'Veon Bell?
Le'Veon.
I agree with that. Narrative street, baby.
Robert Woods for David Montgomery.
Could David Montgomery be worse?
It's kind of a wash.
He's so bad.
It would be really hard for him to be worse than he has been as a rusher, especially.
Terrible.
And yet he's still been pretty good for fantasy, so it's hard to not value him pretty high.
Yeah, right. This week's, I think, is going to be rough for him, but after that, it should be much better. He's got 10, 18, 13, and 11 PPR fantasy points in his last 4 games, and that is while being like basically putrid as a rusher, 3.06 yards per carry. So in non-PPR, I don't think I'd do it. As crazy as that sounds, I don't even want the running back.
I think I would do it regardless.
You would?
Montgomery. Although I just don't think he's very good. I was looking into this. The Bears' offensive line actually hasn't been terrible for run blocking. They're like 13th in adjusted line yards, according to Football Outsiders. So David Montgomery might just be bad.
Yeah,
it's really fun to think back to week 1, that Monday night game, I think it was, with the Bears last year when the entire fantasy football community, was it a Thursday night game?
I think they had the season opener against the Packers.
Yeah, well, either way, whenever it was, the entire fantasy football analyst community was like ready to firebomb the Bears headquarters because they were giving Mike Davis touches instead of David Montgomery. Remember back when everybody was convinced David Montgomery was going to be a superstar?
Yeah. Yeah, no, he is not. He is not. From Johnny G, Dynasty trade. Beckham for Darius Slayton in PPR.
I would still rather have Beckham, I think.
I might do that.
Wow. Darius Slayton, by the way, I was just looking 2 games with 100 yards. I don't think he has more than like 55 yards in any other game this year. But he's had a really tough schedule too.
A lot of those games were without Sterling Shepard as well.
Yeah, they were. From Wookie Cushion. That's a fun name. I need to replace Michael Thomas. You might not need to replace Michael Thomas. He's practiced today, so that is good. Start 1 in PPR. Scotty Miller, MVS, Mecole Hardman, Alshon Jeffrey, T. Higgins. Miller, MVS, Hardman, Jeffrey, Higgins.
Higgins for sure.
I think either Higgins or Miller.
Yeah, those are the only ones that are legitimate options, I would say.
Alshon Jeffrey, I don't think he's going to play.
By the way, the player that you should be searching all of your leagues for right now is Alan Lazard.
Yes, he was so good to start the season. And MVS, I don't know. I usually think drops are overrated, but that guy can't catch the ball.
Yeah, he's got the Ronald Jones syndrome.
And Alan Lazard looked really good. I'm a little worried it's going to take him some time to get up to speed with the abdominal injury. We saw Odell Beckham struggle with an abdominal injury last year. But if Lazard is up to full speed, I think he's going to be a fantasy relevant wide receiver. I just stashed him on the IR in a bunch of leagues.
Yeah, full practice again for Alan Lazard, second day in a row. He's only 41% rostered on CBS.
Yep.
Yeah, well, tell that to my leagues because I'm searching right now for Alan.
Yeah, I drafted him all of your leagues.
And you can, yeah, that's 2 out of 4 so far with Chris Towers having him.
No, he was absolutely one of my favorite guys coming into the season. I drafted him in most of my leagues, I think.
I think he's only available in my 10-team league, and I'm not sure he's a 10-team league guy. But I might have someone garbage there that I could.
I mean, he had 280 yards, 3 touchdowns on 17 catches or something.
I'm going to put in a bid for him.
It wasn't that many catches, but it was productive.
From Hurt Boa, standard scoring league, Preston Williams, Michael Gallup, T.Y. Hilton, or Latavius Murray. Preston Williams, Michael Gallup, T.Y. Hilton, or Latavius Murray.
Oof.
Oh my gosh. You said it's standard?
It is.
So PPR?
Not PPR.
I would go with Latavius Murray and just pray for a garbage time touchdown.
I think that's probably where I would go.
Actually, it's not that unrealistic for Latavius Murray to have a touchdown. He has a decent amount of carries. I think 11 or more carries in 4 of 6 games. He's got a decent amount of red zone carries, green zone carries inside the 5. He just never catches the ball. But yeah, it's not a bad call. The T.Y. Hilton is facing Detroit.
T.Y. Hilton said he's close to breaking out today.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck.
I don't know what his grandmother has said. He was the grandma guy, right? His grandma told him he had to break out.
I do not know.
I have no idea either. I believe the Lions secondary has played better recently.
Yeah, the Lions defense has played better recently, for sure. They should be 4-2 if DeAndre Swift didn't drop that ball in week 1. But the Falcons should be 4-3. So coulda, woulda, shoulda. All right, here we go. We have from Watchy 123 a fantasy cops question. The number 1 ranked team in our league just traded Zeke to his friend in 11th place for Austin Eckler. The number 1 guy now has 7 running backs and has rejected other trades for Zeke and has thrown the league into a shroud. Should the commissioner retract this trade?
I don't understand the problem.
I don't either.
He traded
Zeke for Eckler's a bad move, but
why?
I guess the implication is that he traded him to help the guy in 11th place.
He traded him to his friend who's in 11th place. He declined other trade offers, and they said he has 7 running backs, right? So it seems kind of fishy to me.
The fantasy cops, that's your taxpayer dollar, okay? Don't waste our time.
I mean, look, if you want to accuse this guy and his friend, these 2 fellas, of collusion, that is, I think that's your path. If that is the league thinks that is what's happening, and it does seem fishy. then you have to go through the official channels to accuse someone of collusion.
At this point, I would say that when Eckler is back, I actually think I would take him ahead of Zeke.
That's fair. I don't necessarily agree, but it's not unreasonable. But he probably won't be back for at least another 2 weeks.
Yeah. No, I think this is pretty bad, and I think that they have a legitimate beef.
I don't think it's that bad. I mean, I could see people really freaking out about Ezekiel Elliott. I'm not, but when it happened, when we were on Twitch for the watch party on Sunday, and the game, Zeke was just a mess. The game was terrible, and I was kind of the optimist, and I was like, is he still even a top 12 running back? I had to make a case for it. So all right, fair enough. Let's go to Gathering Squid 0. Half PPR. Should I start Travis Fulgham or DJ Moore in my flex? And guys, Jalen Reagor is going to play this week. So should I start Travis Fulgham or DJ Moore at flex? Man.
Even if Reagor was not playing this week, I would still go with DJ Moore.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something. I'm upset. I am benching Matt Ryan in a couple of leagues. One for Herbert, one for Wentz. I saw today the Panthers have like 6 sacks this season. They've got the second worst pressure rate. They were bad last.
Really good against the pass.
They have, but wait, let me just check one injury report. Rasul Douglas. No, he's not going to play. He's still on the COVID list. So that's our starting cornerback. He didn't play last week, and they stunk against the Saints wide receivers. And that was without Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. So I'm actually fairly optimistic about Matt Ryan, but I'm still going to bench him because I think Wentz is going to be great, and I think Herbert you can't sit. But I'm not.
Moore, have you ever seen something like this? Moore has exactly 93 yards in 3 straight games.
Yeah, he's Chris Davis.
That's got to be some kind of NFL record.
I mean, I think it's more impressive that Alvin Kamara has exactly 81 catches in 3 straight seasons.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. All right, back to the questions. Justman2427. I pronounce your name differently every time. Next time it'll be Usman.
Yeah, I think it's Houston.
Usman. Scott, Henderson, or Coleman, full PPR.
Scott.
Yeah.
N. Taylor. Pick 2. Gio Bernard, Hollywood Brown, Le'Veon Bell, Jamal Williams, PPR.
Gio and Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
Both guys are out.
Yes.
From Mondo FPS, Naeem Hines or J.K. Dobbins, PPR.
I would go Dobbins there.
If Ingram is out, Dobbins.
By the way, if you're watching on Twitch Sports and you have a question and we're not answering it, you got to come over to our channel, FF Today. That's where I am reading these questions, butchering people's names and answer. And, we're giving hopefully a good answer. By the way, Scott Fish.
Smash that follow button.
Oh, yeah. Smash the follow button. I'm going to get to 50,000 followers today. We're at like 7,000. So we're going to need some type of algorithm. But, yeah, we're going to try to get there. Scott Fish, nicest guy in the industry, and Jamey Eisenberg, second nicest guy in the industry, are coming on at 5 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. I think I read this one. I did. So we're going to go to a new one from JT Poe 13. I got an offer of Le'Veon Bell and Juju Smith-Schuster for this is the worst trade ever. You should decline. You should decline and curse out the person who sent it to you. It's Bell and Juju for his DK Metcalf and Michael Gallup.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's assuming you have Metcalf. You curse them out. Unless it's like, your family.
I mean, Gallup's droppable, so it's basically just Le'Veon and Juju for Metcalf. And I guess the assumption would be that, you're buying Juju off of you're selling Juju off a 14 catch game or a 14 target game. But yeah.
Curse him out, Chris.
I don't think that's
an insult.
Necessary.
Adam, you're one of those guys where you'll respond by sending back Gallup for their best player.
No, that's his initial offer.
Yeah, that's how we got it started. What do I typically do? I am guilty of. This is bad. I admit it. I'm guilty of just not responding to trades. I just kind of leave them there. But that's bad. I should respond more.
Well, when people accept a trade, when you offer a trade for someone who is hurt the next week, then you're not allowed to.
That's true.
Use your commissioner privileges to undo it.
Only you. I would undo it for everyone but you.
Wait, what are you referencing here?
No, I'm saying, like, if you just leave a trade pending and then say Someone gets
Odell Beckham last week.
Yeah.
He gets hurt.
No, okay, this is what happened with me and Jack. I offered him a trade of Myles Gaskin for Kenyon Drake. He did not respond. And then I forgot about the trade. Kenyon Drake had his huge game against the Cowboys, and then he accepted the trade after that. And I think that's dirty. But joke's on you, buddy. I'd rather have Gaskin anyway, PPR.
Oh, now, yeah.
Even before. I mean, you're talking about guys like 4 catches a game, basically, compared to Kenyon Drake, who does he even have 8 catches this season? I don't even know. 10 catches? Nash Wave 29. Are Denzel Mims and Darnell Mooney legitimate sleepers?
Yeah.
Denzel Mims, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Jet fan, but he looked pretty good last week, and he has the pedigree, 2nd-round draft pick. Talent seems like it's there. Like, they're going to be behind in games. They're going to have to pass, so I'm legitimately interested in Denzel Mims. Mooney, I'm a little bit, wishy-washy. Like, Allen Robinson's still going to be there. Maybe for this week, he's kind of sneaky.
I think that's what they means for this week because, Perryman's going to be out. Robinson's in the concussion protocol. Jamison Crowder did return to practice today. And I think Crowder coming back to practice puts an end to the Mims thing, probably. Yeah. Well, if you're talking about starting Mims, it's a deep enough league where just Perryman being out probably helps. But the Chiefs, we know the Chiefs somehow, they're always good against wide receivers. I don't really want.
They have given up some big plays to outside receivers this year, so that's where Denzel Mims plays. If it's just for this week, I like Mooney, but I think Mims has more long-term upside.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if that Mooney game were indoors, we didn't have to worry about potentially 20 to 25 mile per hour winds and Allen Robinson were out. It would be different. I mean, the Saints secondary has been horrible this year. And they give up a ton of big plays. So there's more legitimacy there to me than with Mims this week. Bano 1622, Jamison Crowder, Corey Davis, or Nelson Aguilar in PPR. Crowder, Davis, or Aguilar?
Crowder if he plays.
Is it as automatic? Because Davis has been pretty good. He has at least 11.9 PPR points in all 4 games that he's played.
Yeah, but that's mostly just because he's got touchdowns in 3 of them, right?
He had 10 targets last week, I believe.
They didn't do much with them.
Yeah.
But this is what I like for Davis. 6 of the last 7 wide receivers to face the Bengals have had 6 or more targets, have had either 86 yards or a touchdown. The only exception is Jarvis Landry. So if he gets 6 or more targets, which he has been, that would be a good thing. Now, Jamie was a little nervous about Corey Davis because A.J. Brown's going to get his. Jonnu Smith, if he has a bounce back, this could be a game where Ryan Tannehill throws 25 passes.
Yeah.
So what's our answer here, guys? I can't sit Crowder if he plays. Yeah. That'd be my answer.
I would go with Crowder, but I think it's closer than usual.
I think they're all interesting options. T-Volps 21 in PPR. I need an RB2 and a flex out of David Montgomery, Le'Veon Bell, Leonard Fournette, and Darrell Henderson. So RB2 and a flex out of Montgomery, Bell, Fournette, and Henderson.
I would go with Henderson, and it's between Fournette and Montgomery, but I guess Montgomery.
I would go Montgomery.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I made that case for Fournette, and the stats make sense. The trends would lead you to believe that Fournette's going to have a good game. Do I have the guts to start over Montgomery? Probably not, just because Bruce Arians is so unpredictable, and you just don't know what's going to happen. Okay, let's see. From Broccoli U, Gaskin, Gio, or Fournette, PPR?
Gio.
Yeah.
Mr. Jamsons, Ridley or Thielen, half PPR?
Ridley.
Yes.
Shane Tuck, should I trade? Oh, yes, I think you should trade Hasty for Gio. I think we were kind of split on it. From Andrea Buffalo, Boston Scott or Jamal Williams, PPR? Good question.
I think if Williams is the starter, if Aaron Jones is out, I think you play Williams.
Correct.
All right. Dirt McGirt, would you start Travis Fulgham or Brandon Ayuk? PPR.
I would go Fulgham. I would go Ayuk. I just love Ayuk.
I would go Fulgham.
I may be too high on Brandon Ayuk.
I think he's top 24 for Dave, Jamie, and Heath. Well, who did I predict he was going to score more? I think he's going to score more points than any running back in that game, in the Niners-Seahawks game.
That's fair.
I'm quite excited about Brandon Ayuk as well. But if you also want a sleeper, by the way, Kendrick Bourne is a sleeper in this game.
Yeah, he's been their best target.
Yeah, before Debo got hurt, or no, before he came back, he was getting like 6 targets. I think at least 2 out of 3 games, something like that. So he doesn't take much against Seattle. From Levi, should I trade David Montgomery? Is this for real? Yes, you should trade David Montgomery for Chris Carson. Carson could miss 3 games, and I'd do that trade. We agree?
If it was 3 games, that would make it a little tougher. But in the current world in which we are living, I would take Carson for Montgomery. Yes.
Agreed.
From Jash08, is Herbert good enough rest of season to drop Stafford? There are only 4 quarterbacks available on the waiver wire.
Herbert's already at his bye.
Yes, you can drop Stafford.
I think so, yeah.
Justin Herbert. Pretty lucky. Pretty lucky so far.
Well, yes. Lucky.
54 touchdown passes of 53 or more yards. 3 really easy matchups. And he did great against the Bucs, which is not an easy matchup. I don't know. I just feel like he's on pace to have the best, by far, the best quarterback season ever by a rookie. So I'm betting against him making history.
Stafford's been so mediocre, and the Lions offense causes me physical pain.
I actually wasn't disagreeing with that. I was kind of just saying separately.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think you can drop Stafford. Hopefully you can find some replacements. From Island Broker, Lamar Jackson or Matt Ryan?
Jackson.
I would go with Jackson, but I understand why people are hesitant. He had a terrible game against the Steelers last year.
I know. And last year was last year. That was an amazing year. He scored 13 points against them. Colby, I got Chris Carson and Mark Andrews for Zeke in PPR.
I think that's a B+.
Chris Carson and Mark Andrews. Yeah. Don't have to worry about tight end. Sure, let's do it.
You might have to worry about tight end.
Yeah,
he's only on pace for 82 targets. He's been much less involved than he was last year.
But you still probably feel better about him than streaming tight end every week.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to catch a lot of touchdowns. That's what he does. From Gaming, Standard League, Justin Herbert or Ryan Tannehill? This is the second straight quarterback question that's told us it's standard scoring, by the way. Herbert or Tannehill this week and long term?
I know Tannehill.
I'll take Tannehill.
Gets bad.
I like Tannehill. Had their bye. Tannehill's been awesome for a full year now.
I'll take Tannehill this week. Man, I want to say Herbert rest of the season, but I'll go with Tannehill.
How about this stat? Tannehill has had 30 or fewer pass attempts in 10 games since becoming the starter for the Titans. He has averaged 26.7 fantasy points per game and 6 points per touchdown games.
It's hilarious.
That is incredible.
Yeah, that's just the problem with him is what Frank was talking about. After this week, which should be a good one for him unless the weather stinks, Chicago, Indianapolis, Baltimore, Indianapolis. Those are his next 4 games. The Bears are second against quarterbacks. The Colts are first. The Ravens are 19th, but I think they're better than that. And the Colts are first. So Chicago, Indianapolis, Baltimore, Indianapolis. Does that matter? I don't know. He scored 20 points against Pittsburgh. That's when we thought the bad schedule was starting. It's worth pointing out at the very least. He scored 22 points at Denver in week 1. That's not a great game. And he did that on 43 pass attempts, and Denver's been a solid defense. He's destroyed Jacksonville, Buffalo, and Houston. So, yeah, it's worth considering.
Herbert's upcoming schedule is much better. At Denver, Las Vegas, at Miami versus the Jets, at Buffalo.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
From Fat Pat the River Rat. Gave away Clyde Edwards-Helaire for Kenny Gallaudet. Grade the trade. 14-team non-PPR. I'm stacked at running back, and I don't know how to act. Give up Clyde Edwards-Helaire for Gallaudet.
Yeah, I would do that.
I think it's a wash, but given the circumstances that you need a wide receiver and stacked at running back, C+, B- in that range.
C. Miller, we answered your question. If you missed it, we're starting Zeke over Gallaudet and Evans and Higgins. E. Feinberg, 14. Start Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, Carlos Hyde, Justin Jackson, or LaMichael Pirine. Edwards, Dobbins, Hyde, Jackson, Pirine. Start one of them. It's standard scoring.
I think I would go Edwards.
Gosh.
You have the best chance of scoring a touchdown among that group.
I'm going Hyde if Hyde plays.
Sure.
Yeah, otherwise, Edwards.
Yeah, I think Hyde if Hyde plays. If not, I'm going to use Pirine.
From Crazy Bayesian, pick 2 in PPR. Beasley, Gaskin, Mixon, Landry, Lamb, Corey Davis. Beasley, Gaskin, Mixon, Landry, Lamb, Corey Davis.
Well, Mixon if he plays, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Gaskin is the easy one.
Gaskin.
And it probably comes down to Beasley versus Corey Davis. I'm not starting CeeDee Lamb.
I think I would go Beasley.
I would go Davis.
Well, that's not helpful.
All right, Adam, you're the tiebreaker.
I just want to see. I don't really think his game log is much different with or without John Brown. And the stat I gave on Cole Beasley, he has 70 yards or a touchdown in 13 of his last 17 games. That is incredible. And no, I mean, the targets are basically 6, 7 every week. He had 12 last week. That was unusual. Get 6 or 7 every week with or without John Brown. I'm going to go Cole Beasley. Yeah, go Beasley. Who am I siding with? That's Chris? Yeah, Chris.
Unfortunately.
Cole, there's got to be is there like a Halloween Cole Beasley?
I'll think of something.
Cole Bees, leave while you still can. No, that's terrible. All right, this is Fantasy Football Today. 45 minutes into our 2-hour extravaganza here on Twitch. If you're on Twitch Sports, come over to the FF Today channel and ask us some questions. We have some answers. G. Kozak, if Jamison Crowder's healthy, do I start him over Fulgham or Higgins? PPR.
That is a no for me, but I think it's close with Higgins.
Gargoyles Beasley.
Terrible. That's worse than mine. If it were Christmas, he would be lump of Cole Beasley. That we could just say
that's
that.
an easy one.
Yeah. Jalen Reagor or T.Y. Hilton, half PPR.
Ooh, man. I'll go with Hilton.
Yeah. Who do I start at flex? Half PPR. Devin Singletary, CeeDee Lamb, Hollywood Brown, or Sterling Shepard?
Hollywood Brown.
What about?
Yeah, come on.
Can't even say it.
Mananagal Beasley. It's a Filipino mythic creature that sprouts bat-like wings and flies through the night hunting for children.
What is that?
All right, I got a better one.
What does that have to do with Cole Beasley?
Mananagal Beasley.
Oh, oh, of course. That is great. Yeah. What else? What else is better than that? It's going to be tough. The best one, folks, if you missed it on the podcast, was Edward or Scissorhands. That was a good one. Okay. By the way, if you'd like to contribute in our Twitch chat, your Halloween team names, please feel free. Must be better than Brian Boulaga. Okay. Would you drop Michael Gallup in non-PPR for Jalen Reagor?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
From My Brady is better than yours. Play 2 in standard scoring. Robbie Anderson, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas.
Thomas if he plays. Allen no matter what, and Thomas if he plays. If not, who are the first two?
Oh, well, you got to make that call tonight. Robbie Anderson, or do you wait for T. Higgins?
I would still play Robbie Anderson and Keenan Allen over Michael Thomas, even if Thomas plays.
Nah, I'm not sitting Michael Thomas. I've been waiting too long. If he plays, if he doesn't play, I'm fine with Higgins.
I've been waiting. By the way, any more Higgins questions, you're going to have to use first initials because I don't know if that's Rashard or T. So I need a little clarity there. Skittles, another question from Skittles, needs two running backs rest of season. Who do you like? Singletary, P. Ryan, Justin Jackson, Tevin Coleman, Malcolm Brown, Jermichael Hasty. Singletary, P. Ryan, Justin Jackson, Coleman, Malcolm Brown, Jermichael Hasty. I need 2 rest of season.
I would go with the top 2, Singletary and P. Ryan. But I think Hasty is very close.
Gambino wants to know in PPR leagues, McKinnon or Hasty?
I think it's got to be Hasty.
Hasty, yeah.
Claypool or Ayuk?
Ayuk for sure.
Ayuk.
Rogue, Stove, full PPR. Gio, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Boston Scott. Pick 2. Gio, Edwards-Helaire, Scott.
Benching Scott.
I think that's the right call.
Or you could start all 3 of them over Justin Jefferson.
Nah. Sticking with Jefferson.
I think I'm going to do that with the weather situation.
Am
I overreacting?
Over Jefferson. No, I mean, the Packers game actually has the worst projected weather this weekend. It's like 35 degrees and 25-mile-per-hour winds.
That just means that the ball is going to travel further for Justin Jefferson.
JaMychal Hasty or Le'Veon Bell from Tiny Season 1?
I think I would go Hasty.
Jay Davini, it's split there. Jay Davini, 23. Should I drop Evan Ingram and pick up Richard Rodgers this week in PPR?
I'm fine with that.
Do.
Especially if Goddard's available, just pick up Rodgers, and try to get Goddard as well, and you should be set for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's a really good idea.
Goddard's out. I would use Rodgers over Ingram.
My friend asked me if he has a loaded team. He has Josh Allen, I think, at quarterback, and Ben Roethlisberger on his bench. But he also he needs a tight end, and he has Antonio Brown on his bench. So we were debating, who do you drop for Dallas Goedert? Do you drop Ben Roethlisberger or do you drop Antonio Brown? And we have a couple. He dropped his kicker for now, but he's going to have to make a decision on that.
I think dropping Roethlisberger is an easy call there.
But you know what? That was my first thought. Look at Roethlisberger's next 3 games. I know it's Dallas next week. I'm going to get the schedule. It's Dallas, then Dallas, Cincinnati, Jacksonville. Those are his next 3 games. That's why I didn't want to do it.
But you're still not going to play him over Josh Allen, are you?
When is Allen's bye? 11?
If Josh Allen has another bad game, then you really might. His bye week is week 11, yeah.
And he plays Josh Allen's next 3 games: New England, Seattle, Arizona.
Yeah, I'm dropping Roethlisberger.
All right.
What
about the idea of keeping him from the rest of your league?
I could see it, but it's not worth dropping the upside of AB.
Yeah, against Dallas and Cincinnati and Jacksonville.
They just are not pushing the ball down the field. It's so much short stuff there. And if Deontay Johnson and Juju are going to be the top receivers, I think it's especially going to be a lot of short stuff. So I don't think that's that valuable of an offense.
All right, I'll tell him to drop Roethlisberger, and then we'll blame Chris and Frank if it doesn't work out. I do not hate Tony Mudd. I do not hate Justin Herbert. I have been blown away by how good Justin Herbert is. I just know that he can't keep this pace up. Rookie quarterbacks tend to struggle at points, and maybe this is the year where no player struggles because nobody's playing any defense. But, I don't hate Justin Herbert. I'm just a little wary. And Denver's good on defense. They do not give up big pass plays.
Adam,
what?
Don't you know that if you think a rookie or any player will not keep up an unsustainable pace, it means you hate them?
No, I think he was joking around. But I want to be clear. I don't hate Justin Herbert. Like I said, I'm starting him over Matt Ryan. But I just have this bad feeling about it. But I don't make decisions based on my gut feelings. Rarely.
Real Kevin Cash over here.
Oh my gosh.
Just managing by the numbers.
Ooh.
It's one of the worst decisions in baseball history. Yeah. Because Frank and Chris are big baseball guys. They're both on the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast. It's one of the worst decisions in baseball history. It has to be.
I don't know all the decisions that were ever made in baseball history.
I do, Frank. It's up there.
Like the decision to keep Matt Harvey and I think was worse.
Oh, against the Royals? I don't remember all the circumstances. The problem, it was Nick Anderson. Nick Anderson was
the problem was Nick Anderson.
Pulling Blake Snell was not the issue there.
It was the issue, but the bigger one was going to Anderson.
That is correct.
Going to a fly ball pitcher who's been really bad in the playoffs. Yeah,
right.
Should have brought in like Diego Castillo or something.
But the thing is, like, if you make that move, at some point you're going to have to pitch Nick Anderson, right? You've just
right, but you'd rather that be with the bases empty to start an inning against like a worse part of the lineup than
absolutely. When you read the quotes, though. All of the Dodgers were like so happy.
He just
happy.
He made a bad. I think he just like kind of panicked.
Horrible decision.
It just kind of feels like it was just like, oh God, I don't know what to do.
All right, from State Ship 2. Do I trade Aaron Jones for Aaron Rodgers, Jonathan Taylor, and Devontae Parker. I currently have Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback. Aaron Jones for Rodgers, Taylor, and Parker.
Yes.
It's a pretty good haul.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Taylor is going to have a really big second half. One of my bold predictions earlier this week on the Fantasy Football Today newsletter was that he'll be a top 5 running back rest of season. So, yeah, I think I do that.
By the way, Ben Trager points out trading Babe Ruth was a worse decision than pulling Blake Snell. That's probably true. From Nefarious 13, I need 4 out of 5 in full PPR. All right, we're sitting 1. Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, Robbie Anderson, Mike Evans, Deontay Johnson.
Repeat the names, please.
Just say Deontay Johnson. Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, Robbie Anderson, Mike Evans, Deontay Johnson.
Sitting 1, Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, it's Deontay.
Yeah. Devin S. Gregory. Should I? Oh, I didn't read this. Should I trade Aaron Jones for Julio Jones? He has Cook, Mixon, and Gaskin. He needs help at wide receiver.
I think I would rather have Aaron Jones. I think I'd want another piece.
Yeah, I think that is the right move.
Let's get a poll question going here. We haven't had a poll question. What should it be about, guys?
Was Kevin Cash's decision the worst decision?
It doesn't have to be football. It can be Halloween themed.
Was the previous questioner's name a reference to David S. Pumpkins, perhaps?
Oh, maybe. I love David S. Pumpkins.
It's a classic.
Yeah, it's so good. I remember JT Poe gave us that terrible trade offer, and I told him to curse the fantasy manager out. He said, I cursed him out, and I said it was from you. Would you drop Zach Moss for Giovanni Bernard this week? I have Joe Mixon.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, from Shinny, if Mixon is out, pick 2. Gio, Rojo, Gaskin, PPR.
Bench Rojo.
Sit Rojo.
Crowder or Claypool from Latron.
Crowder if he plays.
Yes. And Adam, I'm sorry, but...
Oh, you guys have to leave.
Yeah, I was informed we have to leave before 5 p.m.
Get the hell out of here, Chris and Frank.
Bye-bye.
Get out.
Are we just going to leave before the other guys come in? It's just going to be Adam for an indeterminate amount of time?
Oh, just Adam.
I think so. Oh, who will score the most points tonight? This is a good poll. Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Mike Davis, Todd Gurley, or a Panthers wide receiver? Woo! I'm going with a Panthers wide receiver.
Todd Gurley. Frank out.
Todd Gurley. Okay. Nobody's
Calvin
voted.
Ridley.
Calvin Ridley. Yeah, he's leading the poll. Interesting. Very even poll so far. Good poll, Ben Schrager. Good job. Bye, Chris Towers. All right, everybody, we got 1 hour left. For those of you watching on Twitch Sports, come on over to the FF Today channel and ask us your questions and give us your Halloween team names. Chris had some great ones that I read on the podcast the other day. Clyde Edwards-Helaire Witch Project. That was really funny. Hereditary McLaurin. I'm going to give you a couple of horror recommendations as Jamey. Hey, Jamey's here.
What's up, man?
Every week, every year during this time, I give horror movie recommendations. If you have not seen, it's always the same ones. Sinister. Sinister is the best horror movie I have seen probably since Scream when it came out, which I loved. Sinister is awesome. It is chilling. Watch it. The Haunting of Bly Manor is very good. Not super scary, but very good. The Haunting of Hill House was freaking awesome on Netflix. If you haven't seen that, make sure you're watching that. Jamey's here. Scott Fish is joining us. Scott Fish!
What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
Good to be here.
Happy
That's a fun
Halloween.
last hour to watch. Oh, thank you.
You watched the first hour?
I did. I was jealous I didn't get to chime in on a lot of your questions. It's fun watching Start Say questions.
What was the one thing I said that made you the most angry? Like, I'm absolutely crazy for saying it.
Hello.
I'm Adam Aizer.
No, nothing made me crazy. I just like to chime in on a lot of the stuff. I agree with you on Skittles too. They're underrated, man.
They're so good. Yeah, they're so good. I just feel like if it doesn't have chocolate, people don't think about it. But for the non-chocolate Skittles, do you agree with me that you throw out half the Starburst?
I don't. I eat all this. I'm a non-chocolate. I don't like chocolate. My wife loves chocolate. I don't like chocolate, so I eat all the Starburst. I eat the Skittles. Those are more my kind of snacks. Treats.
All right. After we're done with this poll, Who will score the most points tonight? You guys can weigh in. Ridley, Julio, Mike Davis, Todd Gurley, or a Panthers wide receiver. Those are our 5 options. We're going to do the 4 Starburst flavors and see the best one. Red, right? Yeah. But Jamey, who's going to score the most points tonight? Ridley, Julio, Davis, Gurley, Panthers wide receiver.
Mike Davis. It's his last big opportunity, maybe in the NFL. So go out with a bang.
Scott?
That's what I would have gone with. Do I have to go with a different choice?
Well, only if you want to be smart, because only 10% of the respondents have said Mike Davis. So
all right. I'll flip it just for fun to DJ Moore because the Atlanta secondary has been terrible.
I went with a Panthers wide receiver. I'm surprised Calvin Ridley has twice as many votes as Julio Jones. That is interesting.
He's been twice as good.
Well, the last 2 games, he only has 7 targets as Julio Jones has come back and been healthy.
He's got 200 more air yards than any other wide receiver in the NFL right now. It's crazy.
Ooh, read this one. MSU fanatic. Jamey is the best. Trick.
Wow.
Jamey is the best, the nicest man in the fantasy industry.
No, you're the nicest man.
You're the nicest. I already said it. Jamey's number 2.
No.
All right, number 3. I'll take number 2. That's fine. We got a very nice show for you. All right, let's read some questions here. We got an hour left, and here we go. From
Adam, by the way, is it flooded by you?
No.
No? Scott, by you?
No.
No? Well, I guess I live too close to Heath with all the Gardner Minshew tears.
What's his status? Does he have a
Heath or Gardner?
That's the same.
He's been playing with it though.
He's done.
He's done?
I would assume.
Oh wow!
Maybe just
I missed that.
Hoping for that so we could to
No, I mean
tears.
They want to bench him, and I wonder if it's there are different levels of injuries in the NFL. There's hurt and there's injured. I think he's injured. I don't think he's hurt. I think if he had a game this week and he was a starter, he'd play. But this is I saw one of the Jaguars beat writers say that this is Minshew's camp leaking the information that he's going to get benched, but he's been playing through this injury.
I think injured is worse than hurt, right? If you're hurt, you can play through it. If you're injured, you can't. Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
All right, let me read some questions here. Linus Genus, Metcalf, Ridley, DJ Moore, pick 2.
Jeez.
The first 2.
Yeah, the first 2 are safer.
From Erg Gaming, I dropped Rashard Higgins for Nelson Aguilar. Was that good? Full PPR.
I like Higgins better, but
it's fine. I don't think you're killed either way.
Right.
From Devil's Rock, Goddard if he plays or Robert Tonyan?
Goddard
if he plays. I don't know that he's going to play though.
Yeah, it sounds as if they're the reports a couple weeks ago were after their bye week, and they opened the window for him to practice. It just doesn't sound like he's going to go.
Yeah.
Tua or Big Ben from Fire Phoenix? Tua or Big Ben?
Wow. I'd still go Ben, but I don't love either one.
I'm looking at my ranks, and I have Ben about 3 slots higher, so I guess it's Ben.
This is a fun question right here from Cold Soldier 92. Outside of Kelsey, Kittle, and Waller, who are the top 3 tight ends rest of season in PPR?
I'm not giving up on Andrews yet, so he's...
Yeah. I would say Jonnu, Andrews, and maybe dark horse with Hawkinson.
Yeah, I was going to say Andrews, Jonnu, and Dallas Goedert, just with the opportunity that he has.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I think I was making the case to sell high on Hawkinson. He has faced the Saints, Jaguars, and Falcons the last 3 games. He's been less than 20 yards in 2 of those 3 games. He's caught a touchdown in every game. And just with Kenny Gallaudet back, his yards have kind of been down. And I don't know. The schedule is just so good. Has been so good. It's not going to be as good going forward.
There's a lot of guys who could be good. I still think there's the best of Hunter Henry still in front of him. I think that, Heath made the case on our podcast today for Noah Fant. I think he's going to have an opportunity to be very good. He just hasn't been lucky, and injuries have been a problem for him. And then you have, again, the guys that we, kind of just mentioned a little bit as well. Jonnu, I don't want to judge him on the 2 games that he just had because of the back injury.
Don't forget Gronk.
Oh, yeah, Gronk's a good one too, but, Antonio Brown.
He what?
Antonio Brown's now there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Hey, by the way,
who's more of Brady's best friend, Gronk or Brown?
I would hope it's Gronk.
I want to know what happened that week or so they were living together. There's got to be a crazy story there that made that connection.
Do you care about this? Didn't seem like Frank and Chris. I don't care about it that much either, but James Bradberry has really had Mike Evans' number. And I know, Jamey, you've got him in your top 12, I'm pretty sure, or top 14, at least Mike Evans. But his last 4 games against the Carolina Panthers when Bradberry was there did not do very well. He had one game with about 100 yards, but he had 17 targets in that game. So should we be considering that with Mike Evans?
No.
What do you think, Scott?
Probably not. I don't know that it's that fluky, and Bradbury's a good corner. But Mike Evans is great in contested catches, and he's going to have a good role this week with Godwin out. So I wouldn't be too worried.
It's also a different quarterback. Bradbury's on a different team, different scheme.
Yeah.
So there's several things that are different.
Yeah, I think he's just going to shadow him, though. And yeah, all right. Looking forward. I wish they were on the FanDuel slate. It would be one of my bad buys, but alas.
Yeah, why don't you do your homework ready so I can plan my shelf in.
Nope, that happens at halftime of the game, of the night game. From HP Too Low, grade the trade. Give up McCaffrey and Antonio Brown for Michael Thomas and Jonathan Taylor, half PPR.
I'd rather have the Thomas Taylor side.
I think the Thomas Taylor side is a whole lot safer going forward. I guess I'd lean that side.
Yeah, Thomas might play this week too, so that's a bonus. Das you, half PPR. Jonathan Taylor, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Boston. Oh gosh, we have to pick 5 of these. Okay, Taylor, Edwards-Helaire, Boston Scott, Julio, Gallaudet, Fulgham, Mike Evans. Ooh, I get to maybe sit Mike Evans here. Pick 5 in half PPR. Taylor, Edwards-Helaire, Boston Scott, Julio, Gallaudet, Fulgham, Evans.
I would sit Boston Scott and Mike Evans. No, I would sit Boston Scott and Fulgham. I'd sit the Eagles as much as I like them.
Oof, man.
I
think I'm benching Scott and Evans. I like Fulgham a little more than Evans this week. I like him.
Okay.
It's because of what I had the Bradbury thing, right?
That's it. You convinced me, Adam.
From Miss Thickums, Hunter Henry or TJ Hawkinson?
Henry for me.
Man, that's a tough one. It's a tough matchup against the Colts, but Hawkinson has at least 50 yards and or a touchdown every single week. You did mention it's an easier schedule. Oh,
it is tough because Henry's been.
I'm going Hawkinson, but I have him really close.
Okay. From King Wilson 247, Mike Davis or DJ Moore tonight?
Davis.
Yeah, Davis. Like I said, I would have gone with Davis earlier, but
okay. You could start DJ Moore. Would you start him over Tyler Boyd? That's another option for King Wilson.
I like Boyd slightly better, but they're, once, like for me, Evans, Fulgham, Moore, Boyd, this guy's like, between like 10 and 15 for me. I like all of them.
Okay. From Colby, is Darren Waller better than Andrews rest of season in PPR? I think Chris just said that Darren Waller, that Mark Andrews is on pace for 82 targets. So I think Waller is better than Andrews rest of season in PPR.
Yeah, I was going to give Scott the chance to answer first on that one, but yeah, I'd take Waller over.
Yeah,
Andrews.
Slightly Waller. And I didn't answer your last one, but I do like Boyd a little more than that. I think he's going up against Christian Fulton, a rookie slot corner. Not rookie, excuse me, but a slot corner. So that's been destroyed by like Juju and Randall Cobb recently. So. Okay.
Good to know. All right, we're going to get our Starburst poll up. Calvin Ridley won the first poll. Who's going to score the most points tonight? Yeah, so what's the best Starburst flavor? I will be shocked if – I don't know if he's going to go colors or like fruit flavor, but red and pink are going to be the top 2 here, So who do you – I'm red all the way. How about you guys?
Yeah, red.
Yeah, red's probably my favorite. I think my second favorite everybody's going to disagree with, though.
Yeah, if it's not pink, then yeah, it's yellow, isn't it?
It is. I like yellow. I do.
I like yellow too.
Orange is so bad. It's so bad. Okay, here we go. Irv Smith outlook from Thomas. Irv Smith outlook.
Well, the Minnesota guy's got to answer that one. So go ahead, Scott.
Yeah.
Well, he's out there a lot, but the Vikings just aren't passing their tight ends a ton. So if we're just talking rest of the season, I mean, I guess he's going to be a matchup play streamable every once in a while, but you're never going to be able to trust him until he gets serious volume.
The last 2 games were encouraging, so that's, something you can look at and say maybe they're building towards something. The volume for Cousins has been up 35 plus pass attempts each of the last 2 games, but it's just not the norm for them. And obviously that happened with Dalvin Cook going down in one game and not playing in another. So factor that.
I thought that going into the year as well, that at the end of last year, his snap counts and his targets went up at the end of the year. I thought they would start out, and they didn't. And you got to remember, Cook was out, and Madison and Boone are not pass catchers. Cook's going to get some passes, the short passes that Irv Smith might have gotten. It's tough for me. I love Irv Smith. It's tough for me to trust him.
Jamey, how you doing with in the Scott Fish Bowl, by the way?
I had a really good week last week with the Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett stack. That's a fun one when those guys click like that. I was down 60 points and they rallied, which was I think it was 60. It was a big number. But I just got hurt with the Zach Ertz injury. So going with.
Did you though? Because I did too, but he's been so bad.
He has been bad. I have what I thought was a good group of tight ends a few weeks ago with Kelsey, Ertz, Dalton Schultz, Drew Sample, Robert Tonyan, and that group has completely fallen apart aside from Travis Kelce.
Wow.
Oh, here's a fun question. Well, I promise you we'll go fast. We'll read a lot of
You're not going to ask Scott how he's doing in his own league?
I'm sure he's leading it. He knows all the tricks.
Pass. For the second time in 10 years, I'm going to miss the playoffs. I'm like 2-5. Terrible.
All right. I'm 4-3.
So that was give yourself McCaffrey. You gave yourself McCaffrey.
I did.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, I'll read a lot of fantasy questions as soon as we get done with this one. From Corey S2211. What are your guys' favorite things to do with your families when you aren't working? Scott, why don't you tell us?
Walks. We have a regional park right behind us, and we go on nature hikes virtually every day, at least once every 2 to 3 days. Yeah,
that's great.
Wow, that's great. How about you, Jamey?
A lot of baseball, including the 2-year-old. He likes to swing the bat. So I'm going to run from here to my 8-year-old's practice, and then come back and do a hit on HQ for 7:30. And then tomorrow, the 6-year-old has all-star t-ball practice. So it's a lot of baseball.
Cool. All right, let's get back to it then. From Steeltown, I need one out of Bell, AJ Green, CeeDee Lamb, and Nelson Aguilar. Bell, Green, Lamb, Aguilar, PPR.
Well, for me, Lamb and Aguilar is he's too hit. He could be too hit and miss, even though he's been really good this year. And Lamb, I don't trust anything with that Dallas offense right now. It's between Green and Bell for me because Green gets major targets and Bell is going up against the Jets. And I gotta believe he got extensive work in his. I might actually lean Bell on this one. I have Bell and Green close.
I'm going to go Green. Again, you said it. The targets the last 2 weeks. It's like ever since the video of him a video came out of him saying trade me and the lack of effort against the Ravens. He's just been a different player, and they've treated him as the number one guy in that offense. I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps it going against a very, very bad Titan secondary.
Yeah, 3rd most receptions to receivers, 4th most fantasy points to receivers. That could be your bonanza, Adam. You might have said that on one of the podcasts.
I did. I think. Yeah.
And as a result, I've changed the start of the week. That's now Carson Wentz.
Yeah. No, we have to keep an eye on the weather.
Right. The weather's a big
situation. From Atlanta Lead Blowers. That's a very funny name there. Sit one of these guys in half PPR. Tyreek Hill, Robbie Anderson, Deontay Johnson, Calvin Ridley. Deontay, right?
It's got to be Deontay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. From Privacy. Trading Gurley and Hunter Henry for Darren Waller and Nick Chubb in PPR. Gurley and Henry for Waller and Chubb.
A+.
That is a good one.
That's really good.
Okay, standard scoring. The Anderson of Darkness or T Shining? I don't know that I get this.
Robbie Anderson and T Higgins, maybe?
I guess so, but I don't know the movie references. Son of Darkness? Is that a Thing, and I know The Shining. T Shining and The Shining. Robbie Anderson or T Higgins?
I'll go Anderson.
Anderson, though I really, really like T. Higgins. Well, obviously that whole matchup this week.
Yep.
Goya Beans, Hasty or Tevin Coleman?
Coleman if he plays.
I'm sorry, Coleman, and who was the other one?
Michael Hasty. Or Michael Hasty. Pardon me.
Oof, wow. Yeah, I guess Coleman if he plays, but I actually kind of like Hasty this week. I think I have him right in the 20 to 24 neighborhood for running
I
back.
do too, but the thing we've seen from Kyle Shanahan, and it reared its head again last week, was when we thought it could be Hasty and McKinnon. Wilson is the most veteran guy of that group,
Yep.
and they just threw the veteran right in there. So Coleman would have the biggest boost in that regard if that's that trade.
Yep.
This is from Giant Gator fan. Grade the trade. I traded Connor and Robert Woods for Dalvin Cook, PPR.
C at best.
Yeah.
He gave up a lot.
Yeah. I mean, there's a chance Connor and Cook are pretty even for the rest of the year. There's a chance of it. I would rather have Cook, but Woods has been a little down this year compared to the last 2 years. So I guess it's not quite as bad as I thought at first glance. Maybe a B-.
Can we trade Giant Gator fan for bad Hurricane host?
Yeah, sure. No problem. From Hess Express, rank these three: Thielen, AJ Brown, and Deontay Johnson.
That order?
Brown, Thielen, Johnson. Or no, Thielen, Brown, Johnson. Sorry.
And would you start Leonard Fournette over Deontay Johnson in full PPR?
I might. I mean, you tweeted something earlier, Adam, and by the way, you're not a bad host. I'm just joking. You tweeted what his numbers have been in PPR.
Well, what I tweeted was, I didn't count week one because he had just gotten to the team. And yeah, well, I'm not counting week one. He was there for a week. He got like 5 carries against the Saints. Weeks 2, 3, and 7, the 3 games that Leonard Fournette really had more of his normal role. He's got 42 touches in those 3 games. Ronald Jones has 38. And the catches aren't even really that close.
No.
And the Giants have not given up a 15-yard carry to a running back in 5 straight games. 14 yards is the most of any carry for any running back in those 5 games. But they stink against pass-catching running backs, 4th most receiving yards allowed. So I like Fournette. That if you could tell me that the roles were going to stay the same, it would be easy, Fournette over Ronald Jones. You never know with Arians. It could be Fournette gets 5 touches this week, and you're just like, what the heck happened? But assuming the roles are going to stay the same, I like Fournette better than Jones. And would I start him over Deontay Johnson? Probably not, but it's close. And I think Fournette's a pretty good, definitely number 2 PPR guy.
I would still start Jones ahead of Fournette in non-PPR just because I think there's more potential for him in terms of carries and probably touchdowns. Mm-hmm. But in PPR, I'd go Fournette over Jones.
Yeah, I could see Jones scoring for sure. From Gambino, Irv Smith or Evan Ingram, PPR?
Still Ingram.
Yeah, it's still Ingram. I didn't mention this before on the Irv Smith talk, but I mean, we played Atlanta. We played like I played Atlanta and Seattle. I mean, those are matchups made for some fantasy points.
Yeah. From Slick Bick, I get Zeke. I give up Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Sterling Shepard, half PPR.
It's so interesting because Edwards-Helaire could be headed for a little bit of trouble with Le'Veon. Mm-hmm. And at least Zeke's role's locked in. He is getting Looney and Martin back on the offensive line, not this week, next week. So that might not be bad.
No, I like it. I'd rather have the Zeke side.
From Steeltown, I need one out of Bell. We answered this. Sorry. So it was. I think it was AJ Green. From Miss Thickums, should I trade T.Y. Hilton?
For what?
If you can't,
to the waiver wire. See what the waiver wire is offering you for T.Y.
Is this like Caleb Ballage try to trade him, but just end up dropping it?
He
Chris,
said today,
yeah.
He met with the media today and said, a big game is coming.
Okay. Phillip Rivers had such a big game against Cincinnati. He scored like 30-something fantasy points. T.Y. Hilton had 1 catch for 11 yards.
It was Marcus Johnson, Zach Pascal, all 3 tight ends. Or 2 tight ends, excuse me.
Another bad answer to the poll. Pink Starburst got 61%. And Red got 22%. Pink got 3 times as many votes. Come on.
It means your second favorite. Why are you upset?
Red is my number 1 with a bullet. It's like so much better than the Pink Starburst. Pink's very good though.
How many candy corns did you end up eating today?
You know what? They're terrible. I really thought I liked candy corn. Yeah, go ahead.
What about mixed with peanuts? Because candy corn mixed with peanuts is delicious.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it's the best. I love it.
I'm gonna tell you, like,
do it up, man.
I tell you what, a really good like party cocktail appetizer is peanuts and raisins. Great salty, sweet mix. Yeah,
a little bit, like half of a trail mix.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, then just throw some M&Ms in there.
I haven't gone to a lot of kid parties recently.
No, I haven't got it. That has not started yet. Okay.
Oh, it's coming.
From Rogue Stove, I want Jamey and Scott's take on starting Boston Scott over Justin Jefferson because of weather.
I generally don't care much about weather unless it's sustained high winds, like 25, 30 plus and sustained. Otherwise, I don't generally downgrade for weather too much outside of that. I'd still stick with Justin Jefferson. His possibility for just a ridiculous game at any point is too high for me.
I'm looking at just the Roto Grinders weather report, and they say 25 to 40 mile per hour gusts.
Oh boy.
So it could be bad.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
That is on the bad side.
Justin Jefferson should still be good. He's got certainly the yak potential to take one. They're probably gonna be chasing points. They're almost certainly gonna be chasing points. But Boston Scott, I mean, he should get as many touches as he can handle against the terrible Cowboys.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, I'm looking at the Packers now. There have been 3 wide receivers this year in 6 games who have had more than 60 yards. They are Adam Thielen, Olamide Zaccheaus, and Randall Cobb. Chris Godwin had 5 catches for 48 yards. Mike Evans had 10 yards. Julio Jones had 4 catches for 32 yards. Calvin Ridley did not have a catch. Jeez. Will Fuller had 35 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Cooks had 60 yards. We know that they have good cornerbacks. So we treat them like a bad defense. They have no pass rush. That is a huge problem. So I don't know that it's like an automatic start against them for the wide receivers. I don't know, especially if you don't have a team.
I'll buy into what those 2 guys have done, Thielen and Jefferson. Jefferson, 3 of his last 4 over 100 yards receiving. He didn't play in the right spot and get the right amount of targets in that week 1 game. I'll buy into Cousins throwing the ball 30-plus times like we saw the last 2 games because of how game flow should go. And some of those things are fluky. Julio Jones didn't finish that game against the Packers. He was hurt. And
I know, but it's still impressive.
Their defense, their secondary is good. I mean, Jair Alexander is one of the best corners in football. But again, the Bucks game, they stopped throwing.
Well, look, also keep in mind that the Seahawks and the Falcons actually have significantly better run defenses than the Packers. So Kirk Cousins did throw a lot in those 2 games, but he threw 25 times against the Packers. They had the ball for like 20 minutes. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'm sitting Justin Jefferson in bad weather for a starting running back. Because I guess.
Yeah. And the more I think about it, the Cowboys cannot sustain drives right now. So Boston Scott has
can't stop the run.
Yeah. The potential to be on the field a lot. That's it. Yeah. That's a good point.
Okay. From Wazless, which 2 this week? Deontay Johnson, Cooper Kupp, Jamison Crowder, AJ Green. That's a tough one.
I would say Green and Crowder if he plays. If Crowder doesn't play, I would say Green and Kupp.
It was Johnson, Crowder, Green, and Kupp.
Deontay Johnson, Kupp, Crowder, Green. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Green and Crowder, assuming Crowder goes.
Cold Soldier asks, what kind of monster would you choose? Orange or yellow?
Monster?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means. But
I'm going to go with orange.
Yeah, orange monster sounds pretty good. When do kids start reading Where the Wild Things Are? I'm looking forward to reading that book with my kid.
4?
Not sure.
4? What, you haven't read that one with them, Jamey?
No.
Really? It's a staple. All right, Chef said NYC, T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson, Travis Fulgham, Ayuk, and Juju. Pick 2. Higgins, Jefferson, Fulgham, Ayuk, Juju.
It's Jefferson and Fulgham for me.
Yep, those are my 2 highest. Higgins, I actually have pretty close, but Fulgham and Man, these are really, really good options. This guy's got a good team.
Yeah. And he has Godwin and McLaurin who aren't playing this week.
Make some trades.
Hess Express. Yeah, no kidding. Hess Express. Rank these three. Oh, we did this. It's Thielen, Brown, Johnson for Scott. It's Brown, Thielen, Johnson for Jamey. From a different Jamey Cater V. Flex, no PPR. Cooper, Higgins, Fournette.
Which Higgins?
I don't know. It's a good question.
It's T. Higgins and Fournette for me.
I would agree.
Okay.
If it's T.
R Styles 711. Pick 2 in PPR. Ronald Jones, AJ Green, Jalen Reagor, Carlos Hyde. Jones, Green, Reagor, Hyde. Pick 2 PPR.
Jones and Green.
I mean, if Hyde plays, would you start him over Ronald Jones?
No.
Man, I guess it's Green and Jones. Yeah, Jones is safer than the other two options. Green's is the number one for me then.
All right.
Green and Jones.
I'm going to scroll down here. We're live till 6 o'clock answering your questions. If you're on Twitch Sports, come on over to the FF Today channel and ask us some questions there. That's where I'm reading all these questions. Scrolling down, getting the recent ones here. Let's hear from Swifty. I have Devontae Adams, Kenny Gallaudet, and Calvin Ridley.
Wow.
Who would you be least sad about trading away for a running back?
Least sad about?
Gallaudet for sure.
Is Gallaudet with the Giants in this scenario, or
what do you mean?
did you see those rumors that
No.
there were apparently conversations between the Giants and the Lions for Gallaudet?
What?
Yeah.
Wow. We're going for the division.
Yeah.
Now, Gallaudet had 6 to 8 targets in 4 games, and they just don't throw a lot.
Yeah, I'd still trade Ridley and keep the other two. It's
Because
tough.
you think
They're
you
all
can get more, or because
I'm such a
Gallaudet.
Gallaudet fanboy, but that I think I'd keep Adams and Gallaudet. And I
mean,
also think Ridley can get you a lot.
We've had this conversation. There's not this is one of those where they're all great players, and so I'd probably just go to the team that has the running backs that you're interested in and say, rank these 3 receivers. If you want Adams, you got to give me this. You want Ridley, got to give me this. You want Gallaudet, got to give me this.
Okay.
Adams is going to command the most. He should.
Yeah. I don't think I'd trade him. I think he's too valuable.
He's the one that I would keep. I mean,
On another planet.
The other two are interchangeable.
Ev J or Ev, I don't know, the maestro here. I got Michael Thomas. If he's out again, Marquez Callaway. I don't know his status, by the way.
He's not been practicing.
Okay. Tyler Johnson, Denzel Mims. Any of them?
What Mims did last week was encouraging, and man.
Crowder didn't play that game.
Yeah,
If Crowder plays, it's Tyler Johnson. If Crowder is out, it's Denzel Mims.
Can't do better.
I agree with
than this.
that. That's good.
What
I mean,
about-
you could go look to see. There's some really interesting receivers like that you could find in the same team. Braxton Berrios. I mean, he's going to get a lot of targets for the Jets. You know what that slot receiver role has been. I'd look to see if Hunter Renfro's out there. I like his setup against the Browns, slot receiver. Slot receivers have done well there. I mean, Donovan Peoples-Jones, who knows what's going to happen with Beckham not there. There's a lot of guys that are in that same kind of similar situation.
You know what I like?
Johnson just scored in 2 straight. So
I like Kendrick Bourne.
he's interesting.
Yeah,
sure.
he had. I'm just gonna look at his targets the first 3 games so I get this right. 5, 5, and 6 targets the first 3 games of the season. Deebo Samuel was not playing in those games, and it's Seattle, so he's like 0 or 1%
Right, but 2 of those games were without Kittle.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, look, these are flyers. I like Bourne. I think he's got a chance. In fact, that would be like the one thing that screws over Brandon Ayuk would be Kendrick Bourne. Just like, it was Bourne. How about that? From Sarus, DJ Moore or T. Higgins, half PPR.
More.
Yeah, DJ Moore.
From your boy 24, sit 1 PPR. Alvin Kamara, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, Kareem Hunt.
That's interesting. I only answer questions from my boy 25.
I sit 1, Jonathan Taylor.
I'd say Jacobs.
JD. Ooh, Scott did not like that.
No, it's a tough call.
It is.
I don't like that. Yeah, don't like that Taylor.
I'd say Kamara in PPR. I think he's a little overrated. Okay. Joking.
I asked.
Joking.
I did. I did the PFF podcast yesterday, and Ian Hartitz. Am I pronouncing that right?
Hartitz, yeah.
Hartitz. He had a poll on Twitter. If aliens came down to take over the Earth, and you had one running back, factoring in the guys who are injured, so you can't use McCaffrey or Saquon Barkley, you had to have one running back to save the Earth. Alvin Kamara or Derrick Henry, who would you choose?
You are wrong about what you picked. Like it's you pick Kamara. It's Derrick Henry.
What's the reasoning behind Kamara?
Yeah, Jamey. What is the reasoning? I don't even have to say the reasoning behind Henry.
Kamara is a better football player. Derrick Henry is just an animal.
But I need someone to fight aliens or play football?
Not to fight it, to play a football game.
Against aliens?
No, you have a running back that you have to play in one game to save the Earth. That running back is going to be the difference if the Earth is saved or not. So I said to Ian, I would choose Alvin Kamara, but Derrick Henry is an alien.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's not people. I'd choose Kamara too. Okay, I misinterpreted.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that.
From WWJ
great question.
3.
So much fun.
Yeah, it is a good one. Half PPR. What is good value to receive for Christian Kirk?
At another position?
You tell me.
He's a borderline starter at this point with what Kyler Murray's doing, just the upside of having somebody of this offense. It's like what we talk about with what we hope Mecole Hardman could become. You want good players with great quarterbacks, and Kyler Murray right now is playing great. So I think if I'm trading Christian Kirk, I would probably look for there's not really like a 1v1 that makes sense.
No. I was thinking of a guy like Myles Gaskin or something. Then I'm like, Gaskin's probably more valuable
right.
at this point.
Like I would try and package Kirk with someone to get maybe one of the injured guys like an Austin Eckler or a Nick Chubb. Like I'll give you this running back and Kirk, like Myles Gaskin and Kirk to get Nick Chubb. Somebody you can use right now and get you by the next couple of weeks, and then Kirk is a borderline starter.
Slick Bick 17. Oh, I think we like this one. Yeah, we like this one. Getting Zeke Elliott, good trade. From Kyle NMES. Do you think Eckler or James Conner will be better in the fantasy playoffs? And would you trade Michael Thomas and James Conner for Derrick Henry? No, I would not do that.
You give up a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot to give up. And boy,
let's look at these schedules. Ready?
I like it.
Eckler gets Atlanta, Las Vegas, and Denver.
Hello.
Connor gets.
Don't say Baltimore. Don't say Baltimore. Don't say Baltimore.
Buffalo, Cincinnati, and the Colts.
Whew. Both good, except for the Colts game, but I don't know how great the Colts run defense is because they just haven't been tested tremendously yet.
I think they're legit.
Huh? I think
they're legit.
They're good. I don't think they're as good as their numbers bear out.
Why don't we do the whole Connor non-PPR, Eckler full PPR thing?
Sure.
Yeah. I think I'll take Eckler either way.
Okay.
I don't know that I trust Connor to stay healthy through 17.
So what if you're getting Connor and Benny Snell?
Eckler
should be better.
Yeah, I'll take Eckler.
From ACG, Fournette or Hasty, half point per carry.
If Tevin Coleman's out, it's Hasty.
Yeah.
If Tevin Coleman's in, it's Fournette.
We have a lot of those this week. Seems like every week right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. From C-Prate, I have Derrick Henry, Chris Carson, Fournette, Justin Jackson, Phillip Lindsay. It's a super flex league. Who do I drop to pick up Dallas Goedert? Okay, you're not dropping Henry or Carson. Fournette, Justin Jackson, Phillip Lindsay. Standard scoring. Who do I drop to pick up Goddard?
It's Jackson or Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the question would be, and you should start phrasing it this way, Adam. I'm going to tell you how to do your job.
Okay.
If this guy was available on waivers, who would you pick up first, Jackson or Lindsay?
I'd pick up Lindsay because Melvin Gordon might have a suspension coming.
I think in this scenario, I'd drop Jackson out of his group just because Eckler's coming back in a couple weeks, but Lindsay could still have a role for the whole season.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Okay, from Chris 37. I have Devontae Adams, Kenny Gallaudet, and DK Metcalf. Who do I flex between T. Higgins, Rashard Higgins, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Boston Scott?
It's probably Boston Scott, but man, do I love T. Higgins this week.
I would agree. I hate that Miles Sanders is missing this game. I hate it. I hate it.
It sucks. Very frustrating. By the way, I'm glad I'm not playing against your team, Chris. That is a nasty team.
Yeah.
I have to bench Juju and guys like that. That's
right.
From Obama, Teddy or Roethlisberger.
You gotta do your impression.
I don't do an Obama impression.
No, do it.
I honestly don't remember. I just I when he used to talk all the time, I could kind of nail it.
He's been talking all the time. Close your eyes. Imagine Obama.
No, I can't, JV. I can't do it.
That's terrible.
For this person, it's Teddy with a bullet for me.
I don't remember the question. What was it?
Teddy or Roethlisberger? Teddy versus
Teddy.
Atlanta.
Yeah, Teddy.
Gus Edwards, Josh Kelly, or Damian Harris?
Not Damien Harris.
Ugh, gross. You said Josh Kelly and
Gus
Damian
Edwards,
Harris.
Josh Kelly, Damian Harris.
Ugh.
Gus Edwards. Ingram's missed practice the last 2 days, and the fact that it's coming off a bye week, that's pretty telling that he's probably not going to go. So just take a chance that he's the best Baltimore running back.
It's I don't love that Pittsburgh matchup though.
I don't either, but
I guess Edwards is probably a lock for 10 to 15 though.
Right. The workload is what you're hoping for. You can't trust the Patriots right now because they just look terrible. And Joshua Kelly, I mean, he's not looked good.
He's looked pedestrian, yeah.
Right. So
Edwards is not getting you catches though. I think he has no catches on 3 targets this year.
Right. But again, that's with Mark Ingram healthy, so who knows if something changes. But I'm so curious to see how this Pittsburgh defense is going to handle Lamar Jackson without Devin Bush there. Because, last week Tannehill's just a different quarterback, and so Derrick Henry's a straightforward style of runner. If they're running the RPOs and doing all the different things that Baltimore does, I wonder if they could have some success running on the Steelers.
From Zobozo 11, does James Robinson finish in the top 8 running backs end of season?
Yes, unless he gets hurt.
Yeah, I just with the amount of injuries to other backs, he should, and his consistency, I think he should.
What about if Minshew gets hurt? Sorry, Jamie. What if Minshew what if Minshew gets benched? Does that? He has a terrible quarterback situation. Does that change things?
Minshew has not been good.
He's been acceptable. He has not been. I think he'd be better than Mike Glennon.
I don't think it's going to be Glennon. It's going to be Luton.
Then that concerns me.
Well, I mean, what if Luton's better than Minshew?
He's a cough drop, bro. I don't know.
I'm not worried about James Robinson with the quarterback play because again, Minshew he doesn't scare defenses.
Oh well, I don't think Ben Luton's going to score. Is that his first name?
I think it's Jake.
I think I went to Ben DiNucci. I don't think Luton's cough drop is going to scare any defenses. So this is what I like. He's got Houston and Green Bay coming out of the bye. Those 2 teams currently give up the most fantasy points to running backs. That is wonderful. Then it's Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Minnesota, Tennessee, Baltimore, Chicago. It's not a great finish to the schedule. And I just want to remind everyone how bad he was basically against Houston and Detroit in weeks 5 and 6. It's like we forget that because he tore up the Chargers. I've been hearing a lot of James Robinson love, and I'm wondering if we're just I feel like you guys would take him in the first round or early second or something. I just don't know that he's that.
I'll go back to what I said a few weeks ago, and Scott can disagree if he does, that this is a different way, but fantasy production, Leonard Fournette from a year ago.
Yeah.
And we were drafting Fournette.
That's what you're getting out of James Robinson. He's taking every single touch. He's getting the work in the passing game. That
is big.
I go back to where we drafted. We did a few drafts right after the Super Bowl, before anything happened. Not knowing what was going to free agency and the draft. And Leonard Fournette was a 2nd-round pick.
Well, not for us.
Yes, he was. Right after the season, when we thought he was the featured guy for Jacksonville.
Oh, was he?
Yes.
Oh, I never thought we were that high on him, but it's been a while.
At that point?
Well,
what had changed by that point?
I don't know. He had a pretty bad year, you know?
He had 73 catches on 100 targets.
Yeah, but he was like historically inefficient.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it did matter because
sometimes counting stats are good.
I know. I get that. I just like we were always super low on Leonard Fournette.
But not to the point that he wasn't a top 24 overall selection.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't recall at all.
He was a good fantasy running back with 3 touchdowns.
He was only good in PPR. He was not that good in non-PPR.
True.
He was fine, but yeah. I don't know. You looked at him, he had all those catches. I just kind of feel like we didn't really think that was going to happen again. Julia wants to know, who would you rather have in PPR, Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Michael Thomas?
Michael Thomas.
In USF, full PPR, Boston Scott or James Conner, and Justin Herbert or Aaron Rodgers?
Is it this week?
Yeah. Scott or Conner?
Man.
I'll take Scott.
Yeah, I'll take Scott and I'll take Rodgers. I mean, Cameron Dancer is going to be out for the Vikings, and that's not even like it's probably
their secondary is really beat up, isn't it?
Our secondary is destroyed right now, so I'd take Rodgers.
I would take Herbert
because the weather.
The weather.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both like top 6 options. So
yes.
I mean, it's.
Oh my gosh, great team name. Ready? Boston Scott Fish.
There it is.
Damn.
I used to go to Boston Market all the time, and then that's what they used to call me, Boston Scott.
Boston Scott, nice. I loved Boston Market. When they took ham off the menu, it was devastating for me. I don't know why they did that. Just horrible. What were your 2 sides? Give me your 2 sides.
I honestly was just joking.
It's
been like 15 years probably since I've been.
How do you forget? The mac and cheese was so good. The sweet potatoes.
The spinach.
Oh, the spinach was come on, Super Bowl.
I'm sure
spinach,
I was a mashed potatoes and mac and cheese guy. I'm going to bet.
We got about 15 minutes left, so let's make sure we answer as many questions as we can. I always drag things down, and I am sorry. Mondo, pick 2 in PPR. AJ Green, Marquise Brown, Justin Jefferson.
Green and Jefferson.
Yes, sir.
From Andrew Kim, trade Lamar Jackson, Hollywood Brown, Chase Edmonds for Josh Allen, Josh Jacobs, and Justin Jefferson.
What?
It's a pretty good trade.
Yeah, I would do that.
I would do that for sure.
Are we giving up on Lamar Jackson at the point where maybe he's about to take off and taking on Josh Allen at the point where he could continue to struggle?
It's possible.
I think Jackson has to be a lot better than Allen for this trade, because the rest of it is Jacobs and Jefferson you're getting and giving up Hollywood Brown and Chase Edmonds.
Like,
would it surprise you if Edmonds is better than Jacobs? Because it wouldn't for me.
As long as when Drake is out, no. When Drake is in, yes, it would.
What if I told you Drake is done?
Oh, then I would keep the Edmonds side.
Right.
Josh Jacobs has had a bad year. It's a thing now. It's like people were talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, so we're all doing the trade though, right?
Yeah, I think you should.
I would. Is currently done. Stated. Yeah.
From Chris, if I trade T. Higgins and Juju for Cooper Kupp and Christian Kirk, do I win the trade? Higgins and Juju or Kupp and Kirk?
I'd rather have Higgins and Juju.
Yep. A lot of autocorrects, by the way, in this, I could tell. Made it very challenging for me, but I'm up for it. From Andy, bench 1 in full PPR. Gio, Jamal Williams, Melvin Gordon, DeAndre Swift.
Swift.
What if Lindsey plays?
Still Swift.
I saw
Revenge
that,
game, buddy.
I saw that Gordon's center or Gio's center and 2 of his tackles have not practiced at all this week too. Though it's nice to have Gio when Mixon's out, but I think Jamey's right.
Okay.
I think it's Swift.
Standard scoring: Noah Fant or T.J. Hawkinson, and Ronald Jones or Gio Bernard.
I'll take Hawkinson and Gio.
Yep, probably.
Okay. From new ones, looking for new ones. JD, sit 2 of these: Darius Slayton, Henry Ruggs. I hope you have better options after that. Tim Patrick.
Patrick might sit himself. So
Deontay Johnson and Carlos Hyde. Okay, well, this could be an easy one for you if Patrick and Hyde don't play. But if everybody plays, who are you sitting? 2 of them: Slayton, Ruggs, Patrick, Deontay Johnson, Carlos Hyde.
Ruggs and Patrick.
It's yeah. Even if Patrick goes, maybe he's not fully healthy. So Ruggs and Patrick.
From Black Stars 321, would you trade Kenny Gallaudet and Leonard Fournette for DK Metcalf and Joe Mixon? Yes.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
The last OG 2, Wentz or Tannehill, 4 point per passing touchdown. Oh, Jamey, this is Wentz now, right? Yeah. Start of the week change.
Yeah, I love Wentz this week.
From Papa Crow. Sorry. Gio Bernard or Montgomery? Oh, I'm sorry, Scott. Did I cut you off?
I was gonna say I think I'd still go Tannehill, but I love Wentz this week. Good
I love
options.
both. Originally I started the week with Wentz over Tannehill. Then I flipped it after I made Tannehill the start of the week, and then with the weather, it's just I hope that game is not ruined by the win.
I might flip 4 times by Sunday. I can see that.
Gio Bernard or David Montgomery, PPR?
Gio.
Yep. Montgomery, man.
Yeah,
Hope for more.
I don't know if maybe you've talked to him about this, Jamey. Why does Heath have David Montgomery ahead of Dalvin Cook in PPR?
I have no idea. We did start sit today on HQ, and I knew he liked Montgomery because I had him as a sit, he has him as a start, so we just combined those 2 topics. And we have this graphic that we show that it puts all of our not our rankings, but like our mug shots go like to in favor, not like and dislike, whatever, however it shows us. And it's with the number that you have him ranked. And so it went to the like side for Heath, and I saw 10 for David Montgomery in PPR. I was like, okay, I think Montgomery's like maybe a top 20 guy at best, but I don't share your optimism, Heath. I don't understand. The touchdowns don't come. The yards rushing aren't there for him. He's down his center. He could be down Allen Robinson. I mean, the Saints' run defense is good. It's not great, but they've got better of late.
It's great.
Well, they got better of late.
Their run defense is really good.
Right. Like, I just don't see it.
Yeah. I don't remember if they're really good or really bad against pass catching running backs. But like, what does it matter? The guy's just been horrible. At some point, it's like the 4 or 5 catches are nice. They allow the 7th fewest fantasy points to running backs. They allow 3.53 yards per carry to running backs and the 7th fewest yards per game receiving to running backs. DeAndre Swift had 30 yards. That's the most of any running back receiving. So Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, Justin Jackson, Mike Davis, all these guys had 17 to 24 receiving yards against the Saints. It's a terrible matchup. A guy who's not playing well. I thought it was like, well, Dalvin Cook, I just want to make sure he's playing and then I'll move him up. What kind of deal? But I just think he just really likes the safety of the 4 or 5 catches from Montgomery. Very valuable in PPR. I get that. I'm not going to rip him when he's not on the show.
If Tariq Cohen was playing, they would be Devin Singletary and Zach Moss.
Yep. I was just thinking that he would be useless. He would be useless if Devin Tevin. What the hell's his name? Tariq Cohen. Tevin Coleman. Tariq Cohen. So confusing. Okay, this is an easy one from Zach. Start Mike Davis or Carlos Hyde. You got to make that decision tonight. You're starting Mike Davis.
Yeah, you could tell me Carlos Hyde was playing. Chris Carson was on the moon, and they were playing an easy opponent, and I'd still take Mike Davis.
Yeah.
All right, Fenwick, pick 2 PPR. T. Higgins, J.K. Dobbins, Nelson Aguilar, Robert Woods, and Hollywood Brown.
Pick 2?
Yeah. Higgins, Dobbins, Aguilar, Woods, Hollywood Brown.
Higgins and Woods.
We had that fun stat from...
It's Higgins with a bullet for me, and then it's Woods second.
Yeah, we had a good stat from Jacob Gibbs of Sportsline. He said the Dolphins really struggle against play action. Jared Goff, very good in play action. They run it all the time. And Robert Woods is usually the wide receiver who benefits when they're running successfully play action passes. So keep it in mind. Mopman 27, standard scoring, Evan Ingram or Richard Rodgers?
Richard Rodgers, if Goddard is
if
out.
Goddard doesn't play, Rodgers should feast again like last week.
Rick Sanchez, if Carlos Hyde is out, DJ Dallas or Le'Veon Bell, half PPR?
Le'Veon Bell.
What if Carlos Hyde and Travis Homer are both out?
I still want Bell.
Okay.
Sorry, I talked over you, Jamey.
No, you're fine.
You're apologizing for that?
I feel bad.
Here, let's settle this. Who answers the questions first? What time were you born, Scott?
8:08 p.m.
Oh, you got me. I was 11:32 p.m. Scott and I have the same birthday.
No way.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes. I'm sure you didn't wish him a happy birthday either.
I didn't.
So, Scott, you can answer first the rest of the way since you're older than me.
That is bad that I didn't wish Jamey a happy birthday, but I was just saving it for the show the next day. I still could have done both, right? It was really bad.
You could have texted me.
I could have texted you. And I was on a group text. You know, the problem was I was on a group text where they texted you happy birthday, and I hate that group text. So I was almost like protesting. All right, so let's go to Simon Ray. Pick the duo in PPR. Mike Evans and Jonnu Smith. This is so silly. Or AJ Brown and Richard Rodgers. He doesn't like playing players from the same team. So Mike Evans and Jonnu Smith or AJ Brown and Richard Rodgers. You are doing yourself a huge disservice here.
AJ Brown and Jonnu Smith.
Although in all seriousness, I don't think we'd be the least bit surprised if Richard Rodgers was better than Jonnu Smith, right?
No. I think it's a smash spot for Jonnu Smith this week. My only question in that game is A, the weather, and B, how much Corey Davis gets involved. But all three of them, Brown, Jonnu, and Corey Davis, were able to get involved week one. So
it's true.
If you had to pick one of these combos, Evans and Jonnu or AJ Brown and Rodgers, what would it be?
If Goddard's out, it's AJ Brown and Rodgers.
Yeah.
From Colby, full PPR, flex Justin Jefferson or Le'Veon Bell?
I'm deferring to the old man.
Yeah. I really think Bell's in a good spot this week. I love Justin Jefferson, but now you guys got me worried about that weather more than I was before. If it's getting up to 40, I'll take the back.
I'll still take Jefferson. And I'm saying this 3 days out before the weather. So let's see what happens in 3 days.
Yeah.
All right. From Blind X, Greg Ward, Scott Miller, Pirine, Gio, Hyde, Aguilar, Ruggs. Pick three. Ward, Miller, Pirine, Bernard, Hyde, Aguilar, Ruggs. Full PPR.
Gio, Hyde, Pirine, assuming Hyde plays, or Hyde is the guy.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. And if you don't have Hyde, Pirine's not bad. I hope Frank Gore misses the game. He's got a hand injury. That could be good for Pirine.
I think Scotty Miller, if Hyde isn't the man, would be my fourth.
From Gambino.
I want to ask you a question, Scott, because you live in a cold weather spot that we don't. Dustin, huh?
I live in a cold weather spot.
Not like where he lives. Coldest in my life I've ever been was that Super Bowl. And it wasn't even bad then. Justin Jefferson, I'm going to guess this is the coldest weather game he's ever going to play in his life.
Gotta be.
LSU kid. How do you think that impacts players first time they experience cold like that?
First time? Man, boy. That's a tough question. I'm not a player, so I live in the cold. But the ball does. I'm sure you guys have played in the cold at least. The ball is so much harder. It hits your hands harder. It's a little bit tougher to catch. But I'm not too worried about him. I mean, he's a professional athlete. He wears gloves.
Sure, but it's like that. That like for me, I'm a Florida guy. So when I was at the Super Bowl, that I think I've told you the story before. I certainly told Adam the story before. The walk from the tunnel when we checked in to the stadium, which I didn't realize was still outdoors. We went into security and then had to go through basically a wind tunnel because it was just a little outdoor hallway. Mm-hmm. It's the coldest I've ever been in my life. I've never felt anything like that before. Like I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, it takes your lungs a second to adapt to it for sure. And I can see the heavy breathing, but there's also this weird thing of playing in the cold where you almost feel a little bit energized the whole game. Cause like if you get too warm, you can get too tired, you can get tired down. And there's a thing with playing in the cold where there's a little bit of energy to it.
Scott, let me ask you a question about living in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Why?
I love it here, man. We got 4 great seasons. We have winter, and then for a week or so we get the other 3 seasons. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever been to Minnesota?
I've never been there. I'd like to go. That's one of the states I haven't been to.
I've only seen downtown Minneapolis and the mall. So that's my extent of Minnesota. But
Like I have been to Minnesota because I thought I went to that gigantic mall. I don't know.
the mall. That's the first time I met Scott.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I guess I don't think I went there actually. Okay, from Giegas, Gallaudet or Moore?
More. I like
Oh wow, I'm gonna go Gallaudet.
Pick 3 from Colin: Kareem Hunt, Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor, Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell. Sorry. Brady or Bridgewater?
Brady.
Yeah, Brady.
Half PPR trade: Tyreek Hill or AJ Brown for Antonio Gibson or Miles Sanders.
I would trade.
Not for Gibson.
I would trade Hill for Sanders.
Yeah.
Are you saying that
It would
you're
have to be
taking?
for Sanders.
Are you taking AJ Brown over Tyreek Hill? Because that was my gut instinct there. By the way.
It was mine too.
Yeah, mine too.
Weird. Wow. Okay. Pick 2 in PPR: Hollywood Brown, Cooper, or Adams.
Adams. Unless it's Josh. And Cooper.
Yeah, that's Steelers Ravens. I'd rather go with Cooper.
I think Marquise Brown could be a great DFS play because if he hits a big touchdown, you're going to be thrilled about it. But it's just not consistent with him.
Team name Tuesday and a Thursday: Party Cooper, because he's going to be bad. Party Cooper. Party.
Yep.
Yep. All right, 3 more. Thank you. Let's see. We got Moore, Higgins, Crowder, or Jefferson. Pick 1. Half PPR.
More.
It's more.
Oh, give me more. Okay, for another DJ Moore question. Should I offer DJ Moore and Alexander Madison for Miles Sanders and Boston Scott? Moore and Madison for Sanders and Scott, non-PPR.
Moore and Madison for Sanders and Scott?
For the Eagles running backs, yeah.
So it's basically more for Sanders after this week.
Right.
And I think Sanders.
Yeah.
Robert Tonyan or Hayden Hurst?
Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, Hurst.
Lamar Jackson or Justin Herbert?
Herbert,
easily.
Jamal Williams or Josh Jacobs?
Jamal Williams if Aaron Jones is out.
Yeah, if Jones is out, he should be. It sounds like he's out.
Sit 1: Le'Veon Bell, David Montgomery, Justin Jefferson.
Montgomery.
Brady or Bridgewater? Did I ask you that one?
Yes.
Yeah, Brady.
Chase Edmonds, rest of season in PPR, over under 15 points per game.
I mean, under rest of season because Drake has not been ruled out. But if you told me Drake was out, I'd take the over.
Right. I'm going to flip on Gallaudet more from before, by the way.
Oh.
I have Gallaudet three spots higher, I see. So.
Okay. All right, guys. Prediction for tonight. What do we got?
Pain.
I love it.
34-30. Panthers win. No, 34-32. Panthers win.
Wow.
Falcons miss a kick to lose the game.
Oh.
After 3 timeouts to ice the kicker.
I'm going to go 31-27 Panthers. Although it could go crazy.
Matt Ryan is going to score 35 fantasy points. He is going to throw at least 3 touchdowns. So he's probably going to have to throw 4 touchdowns for that. And the Falcons are going to win 35-27. And how many Rocky movies do you think Ben Traeger has seen in his life?
1.
Do you count the Creed ones?
No. Just first 5.
First 5? The only one he's seen is Rocky 4. Yes.
There's 6?
Yeah.
Well, there's 5 and then there's Rocky Balboa.
I don't count that one. First 5. They like basically rebooted. All right. He says he's seen 3 of them.
Which 3? Let's guess. He's
1,
seen...
2, and 4.
2, 3, and 4.
I was gonna say 2, 3, and 4 too. Because if you're not like really into it after this amount of time, 1's not the easiest watch.
Right.
Because it's more of a cinematic movie than a boxing movie.
He says 1. Oh, okay, wait. He's only seen 1. He's seen Rocky 1 and he doesn't remember any of the others. I don't know what he's talking about. Traeger's weird, bro.
What's your favorite one?
1.
One's
Probably
your favorite.
2 for me.
Two has my
Yeah.
2 has my favorite scene to get me pumped up for any sporting movie ever.
Oh, right before T-ball.
When she says win.
Yep.
And then he jumps up. What are we waiting for?
Yeah, oh, that's amazing. All right. Now I'm ready for football. Let's go. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Scott,
you're the best.
Thanks for hanging
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
It's great having you on. Jamey, thank you too.
Scott, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to you too, man.
Happy belated to both. Happy belated to Scott. Tomorrow, I'll wish Jamey happy belated birthday. I'm Adam Aizer. Again, thanks to Chris Towers and Frank Stampfl and to all of you for watching. We'll talk to you Sunday at noon here on Twitch, Sunday 10 a.m. Eastern on CBS Sports HQ. See ya.